Gonzaga has beaten their last 23 opponents by double digits or more. This is a stretch of dominance that we haven't seen in a very long time, and I'm talking historically dominant. And this stretch isn't even over either, so it's very likely that this could go on for multiple more games. And especially with basketball, where teams can get super hot or super cold, and a lot of games are decided by 5 points or less, it is very unlikely that this would have ever happened. So our question is today, why is Gonzaga so good? Can anyone come close to beating them, and should they be the runaway favorites for March Madness? Well, with a 26-0 record in the last 23 coming by double digits, it's easy to say that this historic season would be disappointing with anything less than a championship. Although I don't see them losing to any teams outside of Baylor, Illinois, or Michigan, and everyone knows how March Madness is and knows how unpredictable this tournament can be. But since March Madness is almost impossible to predict, let's jump in and see why they're number one in the nation currently. And I would like to start off by saying offense, offense, offense. This team is absolutely loaded on the offensive. Scoring comes from everywhere. They have the best offense in the nation, average the most points per game, the best field goal percentage in the nation, and they're third in the country in assists per game. Jalen Suggs is the big name on this team, and in the latest mock draft, they had him going second overall. And this freshman has lived up to all the hype and has integrated himself so well into the older Gonzaga team. He's one of 4 players on the team who is averaging over double-digit points with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, and he can get a bucket from anywhere. This 6'4" point guard can shoot from 3 and is so shifty and athletic and can get to the rim regularly. But Jalen is only the 3rd leading scorer on this team. The leading scorer is actually senior forward Corey Kispert, who might be the best overall shooter in this draft class, and he is projected to go late in the lottery this year. And even though seniors are sought out a lot less by NBA teams due to their age, Corey is a player that can fit into any NBA roster. Very similarly to Klay Thompson, a 6'7" sharpshooter who can space the floor and play really good defense is everything you could want in a prospect. And his improvement from year to year shows as a growing prospect, and he will only get better with time. And right now he's shooting over 45% from 3 with over 6 attempts from game. And he's been a huge staple of this high volume Gonzaga offense. And like I mentioned earlier, his defensive rating is very high. And the last individual player we're going to be going over is 6'10" forward Drew Time, who is their go-to scorer when their shots just aren't falling. He has a reliable 65% from the field in their 4-out 1-in offense. And he can't space the floor, but it works out okay because the rest of the team can just let it fly. And he also averages 19 points a game, and he is a beast down low with great footwork and good passing coming from double teams down low. And he's a nice change of pace when the offense and a big part of their diverse scoring arsenal they have. And now looking at the larger scope of things, what I just mentioned is the best way to describe this team. Very diverse. And after watching a ton of film on their games against their notable teams, I broke it down to 2 key ideas: consistency and diversity. Consistency because they are able to play within themselves, often with a lead, and rarely catch a cold streak from shooting. And I'm not just talking about 3-point shooting, because they rank 245th in the country with 3-pointers attempted, which leads me into their diversity. When I watch film and break down a team, I can usually get a good feel of what they like to do and what the game plan is. And to say that Gonzaga doesn't have a game plan would just be wrong. But I see 5 players on the court who 1, know their roles, 2, trust each other, and 3, have insanely high basketball IQ. You watch a team like the Rockets and you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to shoot you out of games from the 3-point line. Or you watch the Nuggets, where most of their possessions start with a 2-man game with Jokic and Murray. But Gonzaga just lets the games come to them. They know when to play fast, they know when to make the extra pass, and they're always end up coming with an open or a very good look. They never look frazzled, and they never look like they're forcing the issue with anything or anyone. And I watch a ton of basketball, and this is very rare to see. So these are the good things, but the issue I see with their team is their defense, especially in transition and down low, because when they played Iowa, they let center Luka Garza go for 30, and also something I have to mention is their turnovers. But their turnovers is only a semi-concerning problem because they do commit 12 a game, but this is a byproduct of unselfish passing. But when their passing is going good and it leads to high-quality buckets, this is a good trade-off for some extra turnovers, because not having a lot of ISO ball, which can lead to a lot of bad shots, is the equivalent to a turnover in my eyes. guys, so I wouldn't hang my head too hard on their turnovers. So in my opinion, they have to be the favorites going into March Madness. And since March Madness is so unpredictable and there are an insane amount of upsets, I think the coaching, the consistency, and the experience and star power they have in Jalen Suggs, they deserve to be the favorites going into this tournament. And although I see Baylor and Illinois being super interesting and I really like what I see from them, I still like what I see from Michigan's second most going into March as we're about to get into this tournament. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching Gonzaga basketball, you just have to see how dominant they are because it's really been something to watch, and not only beating teams, but beating teams with ease. They're not in the hardest conference, but they have played some very notable teams, some ranked opponents, and they just make easy work of them. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of unselfish basketball, and it's like the Spurs with firepower. I just love the coaching. I love everything they have going on there, and it's really hard not to put them in the favorites, even though I love what I've seen from Michigan. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like. It doesn't take that long, and it helps out the channel a ton. And if you want to see content like this every single day, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. It was so awesome. You guys are literally killing it. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.